exemplary deeds or acts of service for this great nation and its citizens, the Presidential Citizens Medal, and it's a big deal. This evening, we come together to pay tribute to a fallen hero who devoted
fallen angel
his life to defending freedom and who made the supreme sacrifice to save others on September 11th.
Again, it's already, it's November 7th. It's past September 11th. What's with all the talk of the second 9/11?
Are afforded this right, especially in the intelligence agencies.
Hearings next week, again next Wednesday, the kickoff here, and you'll see them live for as long as they last. Brett, thank you. See you at 6 o'clock today.
Including Dianne Feinstein just moments ago putting out a statement saying it's imperative that whistleblowers in general are afforded this right, especially in the intelligence agencies.
Hearings next week, again next Wednesday, the kickoff here, and you'll see them live for as long as they last. Brett, thank you. See you at 6 o'clock today.
See you, buddy.
So that would be Wednesday, November 13th is when those impeachment hearings kick off. Right in the midst of the week on the 13th of November. For as long as they last.
Listen, they had a bad go of it with the Mueller hearings, and the entire Russia investigation, and the public part of it was a disaster when it came to the public perception, the presentation. So this is round 2, and this is the impeachment inquiry that will kick off.
And so I said it was misreported as usual. What I said is very simple. There shouldn't be anything. There shouldn't be impeachment hearings, is what I said. So maybe they misconstrued it. But what I say is, read the transcript. It's all about the transcript. People, I never even heard of some of these people. I don't know who they are. And by the way, it's all third-hand knowledge. But regardless of what anyone says, read the transcript. Now, they want to have a transcript of the other call, the second call. And I'm willing to provide that. We'll probably give it to you on Tuesday. Monday being a holiday. We'll probably give it to you on Tuesday. But we have another transcript coming out, which is very important. They asked for it, and I'd gladly give it. There's never been a president who's been so transparent.
I damn sure did
this
ask for it,
is a witch hunt at the highest level, and it's so bad for our country. But here's the deal. Read the transcript. You'll see the call. Now I'll give you a second transcript because I actually had 2 calls with the president of you. So bad for our country. But here's the deal. Read the transcript. You'll see the call. Now I'll give you a second transcript because I actually had 2 calls with the president of Ukraine. So you'll read the second call, and you'll tell me if you think there's anything wrong with it. But never in history has anybody gone through this. It's a witch hunt, and it should never happen to another president.
Start a radio program where I had no idea how I was going to get paid. I was like, you want me on the radio? What does that mean? Was I supposed to go get a job at a radio station? Even though I'd been on AM radio for broadcasting. I didn't know whether or not he was telling me, I'm going to go get a job on the radio station or, I didn't really know. It's a microcosm of what happened in heaven.
All right, so I'm going to point out the fact that you're going to start hearing a lot of John out loud. It just makes no sense where you're going to start hearing it, but I'll show a few places.
Let me show you something. Let's look at the word resurrection. Let's just look it up right here. I like saying it like this. Resurrections. But if you look at it from the Lord God's point of view, you'll know exactly what it is. So let me share that with you. Okay. John, now, you'll know exactly what it is, so let me share that with you. Okay. John. Now, see, that's the name of the Lord God. Remember when I showed y'all in Exodus, I am that I am? When I showed y'all
Pay attention
in
to
Exodus,
11:11
I am that I am.
and the message that comes.
When the Lord God said, I'm going to take you up out of Egypt.
Number. You can dial back on the side of your banning flavors and instead raise the age. We're talking about the age. We're talking about flavors. We're also talking about keeping people working. And, you know, there are some pretty good aspects, but we're coming out. We're very close to a final report, John, and we'll be giving it next week.
Because the industry does support raising the age, but they don't like the
Yeah, we're going to be raising the age. We will be doing that.
But if you look at it from the Lord God's point of view, you'll know exactly what it is. So let me share that with you. Okay. John, now, see, that's the name of the Lord God. Remember when I showed y'all in Exodus, I am that I am? When the Lord God said, I'm going to take you up out of Egypt, go and gather the elders.
All this information on a scam. It's a witch hunt. I'm okay with releasing it. It doesn't bother me. I know what I said. It was fine. But no, they do want to have the second call, which is really the first call, the one before this. I had a call. I'm sure it was fine. I mean, you know, I make a lot of calls. But I have no problem releasing it. I'm very transparent. Nobody is more transparent than I am. And if I wasn't, and if I didn't release it, it would have been a problem. Because the fake whistleblower said something about the call, many things that were wrong. When the whistleblower came forward, he talked about this horrible call. It turned out to be a perfect call, as I say. Mark Levin said this was a perfect call. So they lied. And if I didn't release it, it would have been a problem. Because the fake whistleblower said something about the call, many things that were wrong. When the whistleblower came forward, he talked about this horrible call. It turned out to be a perfect call, as I say. Mark Levin said this is a perfect call. So they lied. They lied. The whole thing is a scam. This is a scam by the Democrats to try and win an election. Now they want my first call. I have no problem giving it to them. Other than I don't like giving calls to the media when I'm dealing with foreign nations. But it was perfect. Now thereafter, I have a second call, but nobody knew about. And I guess they want that call to be produced also. You've heard that, John. So I have a second call. I had a second call with the president, which it's a very simple thing. I had a very good call with the president of Ukraine. I assume that's what you're talking about. The call was perfect. Now thereafter, I have a second call, but nobody knew about. And I guess they want that call to be produced also. You've heard that, John.
Affliction. Remember the clothing line Affliction? What was on that shirt? I'm showing you a lot of their clothing. A dead sheep is on the Affliction clothing line. I'm showing it to you. So that which was done to you in Egypt, right? So done. Okay, so I will bring you up. See, again, it's always up. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah, let's do it. John. Jesus said, I am because your eye's not seeing on it's right side up, upside down. This is the system. This is the dragon system. And so now, there's no arguing with what I just showed you. I am the resurrection, the standing up again. Now let me go over the scriptures real quick. Now watch this. I'm going to just do them real fast. Watch this. John, I am the resurrection. So we'll go to John, let's see, John 11. 26. Watch this. Let's just do them real fast. Watch this, just so you can see how profound. John 11:26. Here we go. I exist.
The crowning.
See, I am the resurrection, a standing up again. Now look right here, a standing up again. To stand up. There it is.
Next 10,
Okay,
15
to
photos.
raise up again from the root. Johnny's word in Revelation 3 when the Lord revealed to me who I was.
Next 10, 15
Properly
photos.
up. Repetition, intensity, and reversal. So
Yeah, you do put things in reverse, don't you? Daniel chapter 5. This is where Belshazzar, he didn't humble his heart, but he lifted up himself against the Lord of heaven. And they brought those vessels into his house before them, and their lords and their wives and their concubines, and they drunk in them, and they had praised the gods of silver and gold and brass and iron and wood and stone, which see not, hear not, nor know, and the God in whose hand their breath is, and whose are their all their ways they have not glorified. Then at that time, right on the 24th verse, then there was a part of a hand sent forth from him, and this was the writing. This is the writing that was written. Hey, Kleck, can you want to finish reading this? You want to read what's on? Can you read? No, you know what, Kleck, can you read the writing on the wall?
E-me. See?
No, it's not.
E-me?
No.
I-me?
Me.
I mean
Meanie.
mine?
No, meanie.
E-me?
Meanie. No, dummy. It's real funny. It's written as meanie tekel uphar sin, and that's on the 25th verse. And then this is the interpretation of the thing. Meanie means God has numbered your kingdom and has finished it. He's numbered your kingdom and he's finished it. You are weighed in the balances and you're found wanting. Your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And in that night, when Belshazzar got tapped on the shoulder 3 times, the king of the Chaldeans was slain. Not his body, but his soul was slain. And then Darius over there, Michigan, he took over the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Not exactly 62 years old, and not in the modern day one. Probably 62 days after something happens or something. That's how they do their thing.
See the word I am? You've seen that before. I'm going to remind you of it in a minute. It means I exist. E-me. See? E-me. I me mine. E-me. 1510. I'll leave it these colors. I, yellow, exist, green. I exist. E-me. We're in it. We're not of it. You understand? You guys got this, don't you? Okay. Let's see. A couple more. Luke. When these things begin to come to pass, and ye shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Luke 21. So, have y'all got this all figured out now? It's pretty hard not to, right? It's amazing. And then these things begin to come to pass, and look up
Look up on that day.
in the sense of
Missiles are going to be
three.
sparks in the sky, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Told you. Remember this day right here, November
What's everything
21st.
have to do with Christ?
It's his day.
From the beginning of the Bible to the end. Now, I'm going to share with you guys, but I want you guys to watch how it unfolded.
Oh,
for
we
me, because
will.
I was like, even I thought I'd made a mistake when the Lord told me He wanted me to do a certain
Oh man,
thing on the
I
floor.
thought I made a mistake before, but then I realized I made a mistake thinking that I actually made a mistake.
Republicans, you can bypass Adam Schiff because you don't think it's fair. You think it's all in secret. You can ask him that person questions directly, and he'll answer anything except things about their identity.
In writing.
Is that fair?
The list of Adam Schiff lies is growing. Ainsley, why does anybody take this clown seriously? He's been lying for 3 years. Nothing he's told the American public has been true. He insisted he had evidence of collusion that nobody on God's green earth has yet to uncover, despite multi-million-dollar investigations and the full power of the U.S. government. Indian deal that never happened. Why does anybody take Adam Schiff seriously? He clearly has some kind of agenda and personal vendetta against the president. He's become a joke and a laughing stock. Why would anybody take this seriously? And where is the critical media supposed to be doing basic journalism, trying to nail Adam Schiff down on basic facts? Hey, listen, Adam, you told us.
He's good. He's good at acting like he's not reading or listening to his earpiece. He's a professional.
Collusion was real, it wasn't. Now you told us about this deal, but we have the transcript, and sir, the deal's not there. So where exactly are we going with this? I can't figure out why anyone takes this guy seriously.
Have something and then your transcript shows that you did something wrong. What do you tell them?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a very simple thing. I had a very good call with the president of Ukraine. I assume that's what you're talking about. The call was perfect. Now, thereafter, I have a second call, what nobody knew about, and I guess they want that call to be produced also. You've heard that, John. So I have a second call. I had a second call. Talking about the age, we're talking about flavors. We're also talking about keeping people working. And, you know, there are some pretty good aspects, but we're coming out, we're very close to a final report, John, and we'll be giving it next week.
Because the industry does support raising the age, but they don't like the
Yeah, we're going to be raising the age. We will be doing that.
Can I just come back to the first transcript of the call with Zelensky from April 21st? It's my understanding that the White House counsel isn't particularly keen to release that. Will you overrule him?
Well, they don't want to give all this information on a scam. It's a witch hunt. I'm okay with releasing it. It doesn't bother me.
So anyway, during these little the little videos that we're going to stitch together,
This is all the future videos that comes back to back to back to back to back.
you're going to see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15.
10, 15, 10, 5, 5, 15. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 12, 11, 13, 10, 15. I don't know. I mean, I know exactly what number I want to tell you.
I don't know how many. A bunch of different days. I'll probably go way back to the beginning,
So this is where he's going to give himself completely 100% away.
when I started the project, when the Lord told me, I'll probably even put in the bad cat stuff just to show you how the Lord, showed me. I'll probably put in the little video where I got the little packet in the mail with the building being framed up,
Yeah, the William Penn building, the one that's being framed up in the back of his yard. Because he's making that one new. In other words, that's what he's going to be erecting.
It is. But if you look at it from the Lord God's point of view,
Which is you.
you'll know exactly what it is.
Which is
So let me share
John.
that with you, okay? John.
Told
Now,
you.
see, I am.
Does anybody find it coincidental or a little weird that President Trump, the one beast, and then the one frog, right, and then Stephen James Deshawn, the other beastly frog, and then Jonathan Vargo Kleck, this beastly frog, They're all three of them are tightly knit together. And I've been saying that for quite some time now. Now Johnny's just the third and final frog.
Wrong. What do you tell them?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a very simple thing. I had a very good call with the president of Ukraine. I assume that's what you're talking about. The call was perfect. Now, thereafter, I have a second call, what nobody knew about, and I guess they want that call to be produced also. You've heard that, John. So I have a second call. I had a second call.
It's my understanding that the White House counsel isn't particularly keen to release that. Will you overrule him?
Well, they don't want to give all this information on a scam. It's a witch hunt. I'm okay with releasing it. It doesn't bother me. I know what I said. It was fine. But no, they do want to have the second call, which is really the first call, the one before this. I had a call. I'm sure it was fine. I mean, I make a lot of calls. But I have no problem releasing it. I'm very transparent. Nobody is more transparent than I am. And if I wasn't, and if I didn't release it, it would have been a problem. Because the fake whistleblower said something about the call, many things that were wrong. When the whistleblower came forward, he talked about this horrible call. It turned out to be a perfect call, as I say. Mark Levin said this was a perfect call. So they lied. They lied. The whole thing is a scam. This is a scam by the Democrats to try and win an election. Now they want my first call. I have no problem giving it to them, other than I don't like giving calls to the media when I'm dealing with foreign nations. It's meaningless because they write whatever. It's all fiction. And I'll tell you, they don't have sources. You know what they do? They make it up. Not everybody, not John, not everybody, but they make it up. His speech before Congress. And in the speech, John, he said things that were horrible. It bore no relationship to the call. And in the speech, John, he said things that were horrible. It bore no relationship to the call. And then,
Is it me, or is he is there only one reporter that he keeps specifically, directly, and purposely talking to, and his name happens to be John, and then John just can't seem to stop saying? It's like they have Tourette's, but with the name John, they can't stop saying John. Which reminds me, remember John the shooter? Ernest over in San Diego, California, Poway. I didn't even think of John, SJD's partner, Jonathan Kleck. I didn't even think of it at the time.
well, Coach, Tommy is doing very well. You have some good people running in Alabama. Let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens. We're getting along very well. They want to make the deal far more than I do. I will tell you, they want to make it far more than I do. But we'll see what happens. We're taking in right now, and you know, as a reporter of finance, you know what I'm saying. They've devalued their currency.
They're thanking all the trolls too.
We're taking in billions
Number
of
one
dollars
troll.
in tariff money from China.
Trolls. Here's the
I
trolls.
like our situation very
Tamara,
much. They want to make a deal
Olson,
much more than I
Ivy,
do, but we could have a deal.
Atheist in Alabama. Thanks to the troll, the Mel Rose Cab. Thanks to the troll Roly Polioli.
Really shaped my behavior.
Thanks to Lou,
Because from the day I came
Ella,
in here, I've
and
had problems
Lepley,
with
and thanks for the
phony
trolling,
stuff,
Monique.
like a phony dossier
Thank you, trolls, Mitch
like
Jaws,
false investigations
Drew
that I
Tasey
beat.
in the house,
So a lot of my
trolling big
behavior
time.
was shaped by
Richie
the
from
fake
Boston,
news
biggest
and by
troll
the
airborne.
other side. That was a lot of my
Alan
behavior.
from Allentown.
The fact is that we created the greatest
Thank you,
economy in
Alan.
the history of our
Alan
country.
says,
With all
you're
of
welcome.
that stuff going on behind me, nobody else could have done it.
Alan
Rush
Allen
Limbaugh
from
said
Allentown.
he doesn't know a man in the world that could have done what Trump
Eric,
did. I don't know
gosh.
Leon Cooperman, but whoever Leon
Thanks to all the
Cooperman is,
trolls.
I know of him.
They're
He can
nonstop.
have his
Look at
own
them all.
view. But in the meantime, I'm making him rich, and I'm making a lot of other people rich. Of the world, all of the bad things that went on. It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going
No,
on.
you didn't. I did.
And nobody else could have done it. On top of that, we have the best economy, greatest economy we've ever had, the best job numbers we've ever had.
Offer. Okay, Republicans, you can bypass Adam Schiff because you don't think it.
Which is a 2-3 bypass.
Was a disaster when it came to the public perception, the presentation. So this is round two, and this is the impeachment inquiry that will kick off.
And so based on this statement, they're leaving a day in between. I guess maybe you could have spillover from Wednesday going to Thursday. I guess that's an option, but right now the 14th is an open date. Okay, so we'll get more information on that. Meanwhile, I know you've been following this thing between Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren. I want to read you what he stated online. This is medium.com. Hearings next week again, next Wednesday, the kickoff here, and you'll see them live for as long as they last. Brett, thank you. See you at 6 o'clock today.
See you, buddy.
I believe this is Air Force One, but remember, both the president and vice president were in Atlanta, Georgia today, so we're going to listen in for a bit, and then we'll get a top story in regards to the latest on the impeachment inquiry. In Atlanta, Georgia today, so we're going to listen in for a bit.
Keeping track of what is going on with these flights. We've had a lot of crashes as of late in terms of the smaller aircraft, and we've had a lot of glitches in terms of the larger aircraft, especially with Boeing, the 737, having a lot of different issues, a nosediving issue, which was a glitch as they had determined it. Then they grounded 50 other flights because of cracks in the wings. Now, today, we have a crew that was able to get this flight back down to the ground after this ERJ-175 through American Airlines was taking off out of Atlanta. They're saying that they lost control of the aircraft shortly afterwards. The pilots were struggling with the controls, and they made several attempts at landing. So they had to keep on circling because this thing would not straighten out right. They were saying that this unfolded Wednesday. They're saying that this American Eagle, not American Airlines, American
today,
Eagle
so
flight 4439 took off from New York with 6 passengers, 4 crew. Just 4 minutes into the flight, they were contracted by American Airlines. Okay, so that's where they come in. Their crew reported that they were experiencing trim runaway. Now, the trim refers to an aircraft losing its ability to adjust.
Yeah, it's the American Eagle. The one that's going to stand up, the Eagle, the American one, as if it's going to lose its ability to adjust.
Its horizontal heading. And it's basically a huge glitch. Technical malfunction is what they're calling it.
11-11.
I wanted to make mention of it because I don't know who's flying on what these days out there, and if this is something similar to Boeing where it's across the board and it's just now starting to rear its head, folks need to know.
You need to know that Donald Trump is, well, it just keeps lining up even more and more perfectly with my assumption like 5 months ago about Trump, and then maybe like 2 months ago about the airplanes just dropping from the sky, and he's even as close as being in Atlanta on the same day that this problem was having with American Eagle in Atlanta, according to Dabu 7 there. What's with all the airplane themes for anyway? Like, why did it keep showing Air Force One? Do they always watch them land every single time? Do they always make it a big breaking news story? Marine One takeoff. President Trump back in D.C. following trip to Atlanta. It's Andrew's arrival.
The ones that believe that he is going to, because he crashed in the water, the ocean, there's people that are going to believe that he was swallowed up by a fish because he's like Jonah. So those people are going to believe maybe they're the post-trib rapture believers, probably. I think, see, they're targeting every belief. They're targeting the pre-trib, the mid-trib, and the post-trib. So far, that's how you get the pre-trib to believe that he got raptured. You push the post-trib, and people believe that he got swallowed by a great fish. And then when he appears 3 days later, then it's the you got the mid-trib believers thinking that we got 3.5 freaking years to go. All right, so when Trump comes back into the picture, I haven't thought of what his excuse is yet, what he's really going to tell you. However, I think I just covered all three. Believing, like, isn't that what you would believe? If there's people, well, it's not if, it's just, what is your belief? Pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, or you just know better? That's the fourth kingdom on earth, is the one that knows better.
Okay, so if you go look at the definitions, you just, whatever, go type it into Google and decide what the world tells the world it is. But if you look at it from the Lord God's point of view, you'll know exactly what it is. So let me share that with you. John. Now, is done. It means to do or to make. I want you to look at the colors. 6213. Asa. Because this little illusion party that you're in, that the whole world's in, is the Egyptian pantheon of gods illusion party. The grand illusion of all illusions. So, he says, I have seen that which is done to you in Egypt. Does anyone remember my personal testimony? Does the Lord God like idols? That's an emphatic no. But look at this. Let us make man. Look at the word make. Asa. There it is. Asa, to do or to make. In the broadest sense. Now look at this. Look at this copper color. To accomplish. I did that on purpose.
Of course you did, because the copper is just representing the coins, like the money that you've going to accomplish to scatter the spoil and the riches and the goods for a times and like a half a time.
You all ready? Yeah, let's do it. John.
We're talking about flavors. We're also talking about keeping people working. And, there are some pretty good aspects, but we're coming out, we're very close to a final report. John will be giving it next week.
Because the industry does support raising.
John is going to be doing it next week, the hearings, the impeachment, the Wednesday, middle of the week.
Not everybody,
Yeah, huh?
not John,
Yes,
not
it is.
everybody, but they
Yes,
take
it
it
is.
up.